dices ahorita que me quieres a tu lado, qué lindo sería.
Relegation threatened Granada, and Cadiz completed the final game in match week 26 of La Liga a short while ago. That match ended 0-0. Well, 3 of the top 4 teams in the standings won at the weekend. Here are the results. We had Levante getting the better of Elche, 3-0. Valencia securing a 1-0 win over Mallorca. A 2-2 draw between Getafe and Alaves. Real Madrid, they were able to overcome Rayo Vallecano, 1-0. Atletico Madrid, a 2-0 win over Celta Vigo. Espanyol, 1 goal to secure that win against Villarreal. Sevilla, 2-1 versus Real Betis. Real Sociedad 1-0 over Osasuna, and Barcelona 4 goals to beat Athletic Club. Well, Villarreal 5-1 over Espanyol, just an update on that one as well. Well, Barcelona, they have climbed to 4th on 45 points, 1 point behind 3rd place Real Betis. Barca have played 1 game less. Sevilla's win over Betis ensured they kept pressure on Real Madrid. They are on 54 points, 6 points behind Real, who have 60. So, Donald, of course, Barcelona at the beginning of the season, they were literally non-contenders. Everything was going wrong at the club. However, as of recent, thankfully, and I want to attribute it to the transfer window, the introduction of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, a lot of players getting life under Xavi. Do you get the sense that they're going to finish in the top 4?
Oh yeah, I think they'll actually finish there pretty easily. But it's interesting the types of footballers that they got to make them better. And I suppose that Barcelona fans are hoping that they'll be able to continue that trend. Of course, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been on a bit of a scoring streak. And it's interesting to know the different types of projects that he would have been moving on from. Yes. Arsenal, of course, the rebuilding stage. Arteta obviously wanted to make the club into his own image. Barcelona, although they have been struggling, it's a matter of it's a bigger stage where the egos are more tolerable, and coaches would actually give them a little bit more leeway, you'd think, especially with a young coach that they have now in Xavi. But obviously, Aubameyang is a footballer that wants to be loved, that wants to be adored, that wants to almost have his own way. And even though he had the captaincy armband at Arsenal, you get the feeling that he was asked to toe the line on so many occasions that it became a little bit uncomfortable for him, and he got, of course, in numerous spats with his coach Mikel Arteta. Now he's at a much bigger club, so to speak. He seems happier. He seems happier, of course, and obviously they would have spoken. He and his coach would have spoken about what would have taken place at Arsenal and what would have made him tick. And it seems as if they are working out those issues so that he's a much better footballer, and he's able to produce more on the pitch, and you see that he's producing a lot now.
Yeah, and speaking about coaches, you just mentioned Xavi, but I just want to spend some time, Donald, expanding on the fact that Xavi has had an impact on a lot of the youngsters at this club, because you get the sense that the players, as I mentioned, where Pierre-Emerick is concerned, they look happier, a lot of them just maximizing on the potential that they have, and from time to time would have struggled to demonstrate that.
Yeah, and I get the impression that, okay, you did mention that Xavi is a young coach, and he's just trying to come into his own as far as taking control of such a massive club as Barcelona. Yes, of course, he's a legend, but he needs players on his side right now before he can really make that mark. And you see that he's obviously communicating a lot with the older statesmen at the club, and he had to do the same with Aubameyang and, of course, Traore, who came in. And that's the issue. It seems as if he's a player's manager. So much so he loves the game of football. He loves how it's played. He wants it to be playing in a particular style. And you see that the players are responding to him so far. So back to your initial question, yeah, I believe that they'll easily make the top 4.
Yeah, and last week Friday we had a discussion about Barcelona, and I had posed a question to George and Lance, and maybe I won't tell you their answer only because I don't want to prompt their answer, and maybe you'll have a very different opinion. What do you think would be the short-term goals, or should be the short-term goals for Barcelona? Should their focus be on La Liga, or do they look for the Europa League?
They have to win the Europa League. they have to win the Europa League. It's there for the taking because they're the best team, in my opinion, remaining in the Europa League. I think that they can cruise to top 4, so that shouldn't be an issue. But the Europa League is there for the taking, and they should win it. In fact, it would be a really disappointing season if they don't.
You say cruise to the top 4, right? But there are teams like Sevilla that has in second position. Sevilla is a team that I tend to believe, Donald, that they do all they need to do throughout the season, but to close out, they always choke, right? So that's a team that, I genuinely don't have as much respect, because I feel as if you work so hard throughout the season and just to get over the line.
Right.
Now, the points difference between Barcelona and Sevilla is a big one. So when you speak about remaining in the top 4 and whatnot, contenders like Sevilla, of course, Real Madrid and whatnot, you get the sense that Barcelona will be able to bridge those point gaps.
Yeah, I believe so. They may not need to catch Sevilla in order to be in the top 4, but sure, they have time to actually do this. So, yeah, I think they actually can. I think they can actually easily make the top 4. I don't think it's a massive issue at all.
Yeah. There was also another player, youngster, Yeremy Pino, scoring 4 goals, breaking some brilliant records, Donald. Do you have time for him?
I do have some time for him, but I tell you what, he's the first player to score a hat-trick or 4 goals since Messi a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo did it, 8 times for Real Madrid? He's done a lot. I mean, this is his first. It's a big deal, obviously, and obviously it's very impressive. Has played a couple of games for Spain when the major players were away. But yeah, obviously he has come to the party in a big way now. Let's see if he can continue, because the thing with the youngsters is that they just have to be consistent, and a lot of youngsters in world football are so inconsistent. But he's made a mark with this one. He really has.
Well, speaking of inconsistent and consistent, Real Madrid, we haven't seen them at their best, but Donald, they always find a way to get the points.
They do. Again, it's an issue of consistency for them because they've been hot and cold this season.
Yeah.
Problems
at the midfield, problems in the back.
Yeah. But I believe that they have enough quality to overcome all of that. That's the thing about Real Madrid. Their pedigree more than likely will carry them through. So I'm equally as confident that they'll be all right as well this year.
Wow, Donald says Barcelona, top 4. What say you? All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we continue.